The alarm started ringing through Station Athena. The sound was loud and sharp. Red lights flashed on every wall. Jinwoo ran to his desk and hit the emergency button. His hands were shaking. He looked at the screen in front of him. The words on the screen made his blood turn cold. Containment breach. Sector 7. Class A Predator escaped. Lethal force authorized. Jinwoo worked as the station keeper. He had worked on Station Athena for 5 years. He had seen many problems before, but this was different. This was bad. Very bad. He pressed the button on his communication device. His voice was loud and clear. He needed to sound calm even though his heart was beating fast. How did this happen? Jinwoo asked. How did a Vrexian shredder get out? The Vrexian shredder was one of the most dangerous creatures in the galaxy. Everyone knew about them. Everyone feared them. The creature was almost 3 meters tall. It walked on 6 legs. Each leg was strong and fast. The creature had armor on its body. The armor was like metal. It was very hard to break. The creature also had sharp cutting parts near its mouth. These parts could cut through steel doors. They could cut through almost anything. Many planets had tried to fight these creatures. Many planets had lost. Whole cities had been destroyed. Thousands of people had died. The galaxy had learned to be very careful with Vrexian shredders. They kept them locked up tight. They never let them out, until now. A voice came through the speaker. It was Do-hyun. He was the security chief. He sounded worried. We were moving it to the science lab, Do-hyun said. It broke the chains. It broke free. It killed 3 guards. 5 more guards are hurt. We are moving people out of Sector 7 right now. Jinwoo touched the screen. He pulled up the tracking map. The map showed where the creature was. A small red dot moved across the screen. The dot was moving fast, too fast. Jinwoo watched the dot move through the halls. He watched it turn left, then right, then left again. Then Jinwoo saw where the creature was going. His stomach felt sick. The creature is going to the kitchen area, Jinwoo said into his device. Do-hyun, we need to close that section. We need to close it now before the creature gets there. Too late, Do-hyun said. His voice was quiet now. It just got into Kitchen Block C, Kitchen Block C. Jinwoo closed his eyes. That was where Minho worked. Chef Minho was a human. Humans were still new to the Galactic Federation. They had joined only 30 years ago. Most aliens did not understand humans very well. Humans were strange. They came from a planet called Earth. Earth was what the galaxy called a death world. Death worlds were planets where everything tried to kill you. The plants were dangerous. The animals were dangerous. The weather was dangerous. Even the tiny germs were dangerous. Most species could not live on death worlds, but humans did. Humans lived on Earth and survived. They even did well there. This confused everyone else in the galaxy. Jinwoo liked Minho. The human chef was nice. He made good food. Mio made a dish called kimchi jjigae. It was a soup from Earth, from a place called Korea. The soup was red and hot. It had vegetables and meat in it. It tasted spicy. Very spicy. Most aliens could not eat it. They said it burned their mouths. They said it was like eating fire. But Jinwoo liked it. He ate it every week, but right now Jinwoo was not thinking about food. He was thinking about Minho. Minho was alone in that kitchen. Alone with a killer creature. The creature had just killed 3 trained guards. These guards had weapons. They had armor. They knew how to fight, and they still died. Minho was just a cook. He had knives, yes, but kitchen knives, not weapons. He had no armor. He had no training for fighting. He was just a man who made good soup. Send security to Kitchen Block C right now, Jinwoo shouted. Send everyone. And get the big weapons. The plasma cannons. Get everything! Teams are moving now, Do-hyun replied. But it will take 5 minutes to get there. Maybe more, 5 minutes. Jinwoo stared at his screen. 5 minutes was a long time. Too long. The Vrexian shredder could kill Minho in seconds. Jinwoo pulled up the camera feed for Kitchen Block C. The kitchen had cameras for safety reasons. He could see inside. Maybe he could see what was happening. Maybe he could help somehow. The screen showed the kitchen. It was a big room. There were metal tables for cutting food. There were stoves for cooking. There were big refrigerators for keeping food cold. Everything was clean and shiny. Minho always kept his kitchen very clean. Jinwoo could see Minho. The chef was cutting vegetables. He had a knife in his hand. He was cutting very fast. His hand moved up and down, up and down. The vegetables fell into perfect pieces. Minho was humming. He sounded happy. He did not know about the danger. Minho, Jinwoo whispered to the screen. Run, please run. But Minho could not hear him. The kitchen was too far away. The communication system in the kitchen was turned off. Minho liked to work in peace. He did not like being interrupted while he cooked. Jinwoo watched the screen. He saw the air vent above Minho start to shake. The metal cover was moving. Something was inside the vent. Something big. Minho looked up. He stopped cutting. He stared at the vent. He looked confused. Then the vent exploded open. Metal pieces flew everywhere. And the Vrexian shredder dropped down onto the cutting table. The creature landed hard. The table shook. Vegetables flew into the air. They scattered across the floor. The creature stood up. All 6 legs spread wide. Its body was huge. Its armor was dark and shiny. The armor had burn marks on it. These were from the weapons the guards had used. The weapons had not worked. The creature had many eyes. They were on long stalks. The eye stalks turned. They all looked at Minho. The creature opened its mouth parts. They opened wide, very wide. The sharp cutting parts came out. They were covered in something wet, something dark, blood. From the guards, Jinwoo wanted to close his eyes. He did not want to see what would happen next. But he could not look away. He had to watch. He had to know. On the screen, Minho and the creature stared at each other. The kitchen was very quiet. Jinwoo could hear his own heart beating. It was beating so loud, so fast. Then Minho did something that Jinwoo did not expect. Something impossible. Minho put down his knife. He crossed his arms, and he spoke to the creature. Get out of my kitchen, Minho said. His voice was calm, too calm. Dangerous calm. Jinwoo stared at the screen. His mouth fell open. Did Minho just give orders to a Vrexian shredder? Was the human crazy? Was he trying to die? The security teams were still 3 minutes away. Jinwoo watched the screen. He could not believe what he was seeing. He could not believe what was about to happen. This was going to be bad. This was going to be very, very bad. Minho was having a good day. He was cooking and feeling happy. His knife moved fast across the cutting board. Slice, slice, slice. The vegetables fell into perfect little pieces, all the same size, all neat and clean. This was important. Good cooking needed good cutting. Minho had been a chef for 20 years. He started cooking when he was young. First in Seoul, his home city, then in Singapore, then in other places, big cities, small towns. Now he cooked in space, on a space station. This was strange but also wonderful. He got to cook for aliens from different planets. They all liked different foods. It was interesting. His kitchen was his special place. Kitchen Block C belonged to him. Everything had its place. Everything was clean. Everything was organized. Minho ran his kitchen like a military operation. No mess, no chaos. Only good food and hard work. He was humming an old song. A song from Korea. A pop song from many years ago. It made him happy. It reminded him of home. He hummed and cut vegetables. Cut and hum. Hum and cut. Then he heard a noise. A rattling sound. It came from above him. From the air vent. The big metal cover in the ceiling. Minho stopped humming. He stopped cutting. He looked up. The vent was shaking. Something was inside. Something big. Minho frowned. This was annoying. The maintenance people were supposed to fix things. They were supposed to keep the vents quiet. They were not doing their job. Then the vent exploded. The metal cover flew off. It crashed onto the floor, and something dropped down from the ceiling. Something huge. The creature landed on his cutting table, right on his vegetables. The table shook and groaned. Carrots flew everywhere. Onions rolled across the floor. His perfect cutting, his beautiful vegetables, all ruined, all scattered. Minho stared at the creature. The creature was enormous. It had 6 legs. Big legs, strong legs. Its body was covered in armor. Dark armor, shiny armor. The armor had marks on it. Burn marks, blast marks. Like someone had shot at it with weapons. The creature had many eyes. They were on long stalks that stuck out from its head. The eyes moved. They turned to look at Minho, all of them. Watching him, studying him. The creature also had mouth parts, sharp mouth parts. They looked like blades, like knives, but bigger, much bigger. The mouth parts were wet. They were dripping with something dark, something red, blood. Most people would have screamed. Most people would have run. Most people would have been very, very afraid. But Minho was not most people. Minho had worked in kitchens for 20 years. He had dealt with health inspectors. He had dealt with angry customers. He had dealt with lazy workers. He had dealt with broken equipment. He had seen it all, and right now he was annoyed. Very annoyed. This creature had just destroyed his prep work. His vegetables were everywhere. His clean table was dirty. His kitchen was a mess. Minho and the creature looked at each other. The kitchen was quiet, very quiet. Only the sound of the refrigerators humming, and the slow drip, drip, drip of blood from the creature's mouth parts. Minho put down his knife. Slowly, carefully. He placed it on the counter. Then he crossed his arms over his chest. He stood up straight. He looked directly at the creature, right at all those eyes, and he spoke. His voice was calm, but there was something in his voice. Something hard. Something that said he was not afraid. Something that said this was his kitchen and he made the rules here. "Get out of my kitchen," Minho said. Each word was clear. Each word was strong. The creature made a sound. A strange sound. Like clicking. Like rattling. It came from plates on its chest. The creature used these plates to talk. To communicate. Right now the sound it made was confused. The creature did not understand what was happening. In the creature's whole life it had hunted many things. It had hunted big animals. It had hunted small animals. It had hunted smart prey. It had hunted dumb prey. And they all did the same thing. They always ran away. Or they froze in fear. Always, every time. But this small creature with soft skin was not running. It was not freezing. It was just standing there, looking angry. This was new. This was strange. The creature took a step forward. Its leg clicked against the metal table. Its mouth parts opened wider. This was its scary display. This was what it did to frighten prey. It always worked. Every species in the galaxy knew to be afraid of this display. Minho did not move. He just looked more annoyed. "I just cleaned that table," Minho said. His voice was flat, cold, the voice of a man who had reached his limit, the voice of a man who had dealt with too much nonsense today. The creature did not understand the words, but it understood the tone. Something in that tone made it pause, made it think. Then the creature decided this prey was too strange, too confusing. It would just kill it quickly and move on. The creature jumped forward, fast, very fast, its sharp parts aimed at Minho, ready to cut, ready to kill. But Minho was not there anymore. Minho had moved. He had moved so fast, so smooth. Like water flowing around a rock. He stepped to the side. Just enough, just in time. The creature flew past him and hit the counter. 20 years in restaurant kitchens had taught Minho how to move. Kitchens were crowded places. People moved everywhere. Hot pans swung through the air. Sharp knives flashed. Boiling water splashed. You learned to move fast. You learned to see everything. You learned where everyone was without looking. Or you got burned or cut or hurt. Minho grabbed something from the wall, a wok. A big, heavy wok made of cast iron. It was the wok he used for fried rice. He had used this wok for 15 years. It was heavy, very heavy, and very, very hard. Minho swung the wok. He swung it with both hands. He put his whole body into the swing. All his weight, all his strength. The same strength he used to flip 3 kilograms of rice for 10 hours straight. The wok hit the creature's head. Clang! The sound was so loud it echoed through the kitchen, like a bell, like a gong. The metal of the wok rang. The creature's armored head rang. The creature stopped moving. Its legs wobbled. Its eye stalks crossed. It looked dizzy, confused. No one had ever hit it like this before. No one had ever heard it like this before. Not with a simple piece of metal. Not with a cooking tool. The creature shook its head, trying to clear the dizziness, trying to focus. Its eyes uncrossed slowly. They looked at Minho again. Minho stood there with his wok. He was breathing hard, but he was not afraid. He pointed at the door with his wok. His face was stern, angry, like a father scolding a bad child. Mittens, Minho snapped. The name came out of nowhere. He did not know why he said it. It just seemed right. Out now! The creature's clicking sounds changed. They became softer, less aggressive, more uncertain. This was all wrong. This was not how hunting worked. Prey did not hit you with cooking tools. Prey did not give you names. Prey did not tell you what to do. The creature looked at Minho. It looked at the wok. It looked at the door. Its mind was working, thinking, processing. This small, soft creature had hit it, had hurt it, had made it dizzy, and was not afraid. In the creature's species there were rules. Old rules. Rules from millions of years of evolution. When something was bigger than you, you respected it. When something was stronger than you respected it. When something was not afraid of you, you respected it. This small creature had just proven it was not afraid. It had proven it could fight. It had proven it would fight. This was important information. This changed everything. The creature took a small step back. Just one step. Its legs moved slowly, carefully. Its mouth parts closed a little bit. Not all the way, but a little bit. This was a sign that it was thinking. A sign that maybe, just maybe, it should not attack this strange creature. Minho saw this. He saw the creature step back. He saw the mouth parts close. Good. The creature was learning. Minho kept his wok raised, ready. His eyes stayed on the creature, watching, waiting. That is right, Minho said. His voice was still hard, but not quite as angry now. You stay back. This is my kitchen, my space. You do not get to come in here and make a mess. You do not get to ruin my prep work. You understand me? The creature could not understand the words, but it understood something else. It understood the tone. It understood the body language. It understood that this small creature was serious, was determined, was not going to back down. For the first time in its life, the Vrexian shredder felt something new, something strange. It felt uncertain. It felt unsure. It felt like maybe it was not the most dangerous thing in this room. Outside the kitchen, security teams were running. They had big weapons. They had armor. They were ready to fight, ready to kill the creature, but they were still 2 minutes away. Inside the kitchen, a chef and a monster stared at each other. One held a wok. One had razor blades for teeth. And somehow, impossibly, it was the one with the wok who seemed more dangerous. Jinwoo and the security team ran through the station halls. Their boots made loud sounds on the metal floor. They carried big weapons, plasma rifles, the kind that could blow holes in walls, the kind they used for the most dangerous situations. They reached kitchen block C. The door was still closed. Still sealed. That was good. Maybe the creature was trapped inside. Maybe they could contain it. Maybe Minho was hiding somewhere safe. But Jinwoo had a bad feeling. A very bad feeling. He had seen the creature on camera. He had seen it drop into the kitchen. He had seen Minho stand there and talk to it. That was 5 minutes ago. 5 long minutes. The door had a window. A small reinforced window. Very strong glass. Built to survive explosions. Jinwoo looked through the window. He looked into the kitchen. What he saw made no sense. No sense at all. Chef Minho was standing in the middle of his kitchen. He was alive. He was not hurt. He was not bleeding. He was just standing there. He held a wok in one hand, a rolling pin in the other hand. His apron was still clean. His chef hat was still on his head. He looked completely normal, except for his face. His face looked very angry. The Vrexian shredder was there too, the huge killer creature, the thing that had just killed 3 trained guards. But it was not attacking. It was not hunting. It was backed into a corner, near the big freezer. Its 6 legs were pressed together. Its body was low to the ground. Its eye stalks were moving around nervously. It looked scared. Could that be right? Could a Vrexian shredder look scared? Dohyun came up beside Jinwoo. He looked through the window too. Dohyun was the security chief. He was a Kravik. Kraviks were warrior aliens. They had 4 arms and thick armor skin. They had fought in wars across 15 different star systems. Dohyun had seen many battles, many strange things, but he had never seen anything like this. What am I looking at? Dohyun whispered. His mouth parts hung open in shock. Is this real? Am I seeing this correctly? Inside the kitchen, they could hear Minho talking. His voice came through the door. The door was thick, but they could still hear him. He was scolding the creature. actually scolding it, like it was a naughty pet, like it was a dog that had stolen food. I have dinner prep in 40 minutes, Minho was saying. 40 minutes! I do not have time for this. You want to be a big, scary predator? Fine, do it somewhere else. Not in my kitchen! The creature made a small movement. It tried to step toward the prep table. Maybe it wanted to leave. Maybe it just wanted to move. But Minho saw it bang. Minho hit his wok against a steel pot. The sound was very loud, very sharp. Everyone outside the door jumped. Even Do-hyun jumped. And he was a trained warrior, no. Minho shouted at the creature. Bad Mittens. Stay there! Look at this mess. He pointed at the floor with his rolling pin. Vegetables were scattered everywhere, carrots, onions, peppers, all over the clean floor. Do you see this? Do you know how long it took me to cut these? They were perfect. Perfect brunoise. And now they are ruined. The creature's eye stalks drooped. It made soft clicking sounds. Quiet sounds, not aggressive sounds. The creature looked down at the vegetables, then back at Minho, then down again. One of the security guards raised his plasma rifle. His hands were shaking. Not from fear, from confusion. From complete and total confusion. Should we go in? The guard asked. Should we shoot it? What do we do? Jinwoo held up his hand. The signal to wait. To hold position. He kept watching through the window. This was impossible. This was crazy. But it was happening. Somehow it was actually happening. Let us wait, Jinwoo said quietly. Let us see what happens. I do not understand this. I do not understand any of this. But we should watch. Inside the kitchen, Minho had lowered his wok a little bit. Not all the way. Just a little. He was still ready. Still watching. But he seemed less angry now. More tired. Like a teacher dealing with a difficult student. You know what? Minho said to the creature. Since you are here, you might as well help. Yes, you made this mess. You help clean it up. Those onions over there, they need chopping. He pointed at a cutting board with his rolling pin. Go, chop them. Outside the door, every alien stared in shock. What was the human doing? Was he really trying to make the creature work? Was he giving it orders? Was this a human thing? Did all humans act like this? The creature's mouth parts clicked together. Slowly, uncertainly. The click sounded confused, questioning. This was not normal. Nothing about this was normal. Prey did not give orders. Prey did not assign tasks. What was happening? But the creature did not attack. It did not run. It just stood there, thinking, its primitive brain working through this new situation, trying to understand. Minho took the creature's silence as agreement. He grabbed something from a hook on the wall. An apron, a spare kitchen apron, white with blue stripes. He walked toward the creature. Not fast, not slow, just normal walking. Like this was a normal day. Like he was training a normal kitchen worker. The creature watched him come closer, its muscles tensed. Ready to fight, ready to defend. But Minho did not look threatening. He just looked annoyed and tired. Minho tossed the apron at the creature. The apron flew through the air. It landed on one of the creature's claws. The creature caught it automatically. Reflexes, fast reflexes. Put that on, Minho ordered. Health code regulations. Everyone in the kitchen wears an apron. No exceptions. He turned and walked back to his station. His back to the creature. His back to the killer. Like it was no big deal. Like he was not afraid at all. And wash your claws, Minho added without looking back. All 6 of them. We keep a clean kitchen here. The security team outside stood frozen. No one could speak. No one could move. They just watched this impossible scene. The creature held the apron in its claw. It looked at the apron. It looked at Minho. It looked at the sink. Then very slowly, very carefully, the creature moved toward the sink. The creature turned on the water. The sound of running water filled the kitchen. The creature put its claws under the water. One by one. Washing them. Actually washing them. Like Minho had told it to do. Do-hyun made a strange sound. Like a cough. Like a laugh. Like his brain was breaking. I need to write a report about this, Do-hyun said. His voice was weak, shaky. I need to file an official report. But no one will believe me. No one will believe any of this. I am watching it and I do not believe it, another guard said. Minho must have known they were watching. He must have seen them through the window. Because he turned and looked at the door. He looked right at them, and he called out in a loud voice. Make sure your report mentions the creature destroyed my mise en place, Minho said. Maintenance is paying for new vegetables. All of them. And someone needs to fix that vent. Today. Not tomorrow. Today. Then Minho turned back to his work. He started gathering the scattered vegetables, picking them up, checking them. Some were still good. Some were ruined. He sorted them into piles. Good pile, bad pile. His movements were calm, efficient, like nothing strange was happening. Like there was not a 3-meter-tall killer in his kitchen. The creature finished washing its claws. It turned off the water. It shook its claws dry. Then it tried to put on the apron. This was difficult. The apron was made for humans, for people with 2 arms, not for creatures with 6 legs and a weird body shape. The creature struggled with it. The apron twisted, got tangled. The creature made frustrated clicking sounds. Minho sighed. He walked over to the creature. He fixed the apron. He tied it properly. He adjusted it so it fit better. The creature stood very still while he did this. Very still. Like a child being dressed by a parent. There, Minho said. Better. Now you look like a kitchen worker. He stepped back and looked at the creature. Well, a very strange kitchen worker. But still, you will do. Jinwoo pulled out his communication device. He needed to report this. Someone higher up needed to know. The station commander. The military, someone. He pressed the button. Connected to the commander. Hyunwoo, the station commander. Station commander? Jinwoo said slowly. This is Jinwoo. I am at Kitchen Block C. The situation here is... He paused. How could he explain this? How could he put this into words? The situation is under control, Jinwoo finally said. Completely under control. You will not believe how. But it is safe. Everything is safe. There was silence on the other end. Then Hyunwoo spoke. His voice was careful, suspicious. The creature is contained? Hyunwoo asked. The human is alive? Yes, sir, Jinwoo replied. Both are correct. The human is alive. Very much alive. And the creature is... Well, it is wearing an apron now. Another long silence. I am coming down there, Hyunwoo said. Right now. I need to see this myself. The communication ended. Jinwoo looked through the window again. Inside the kitchen, Minho was showing the creature how to hold a knife. How to cut vegetables. The creature was watching carefully. Its many eyes focused on Minho's hands. Learning. Actually learning. This was the strangest day of Jinwoo's life. And he had lived in space for 10 years. He thought he had seen everything. But this was new. This was impossible. This was humans being humans. And somehow it was working. The incident report took a very long time to write. 6 hours. Doyun sat at his desk and tried to put the events into words. Official words. Professional words. But how could he describe what happened? How could he make it sound real? How could he explain that a human chef had tamed a Vrexian shredder with a walk-in attitude? In the end, the report was filed under a special category. Unexplained human phenomena. This was a category that had been created 30 years ago when humans joined the Federation. At first, the category had only a few files. Now it had thousands. Humans did strange things, impossible things, things that made no sense to other species. But the things worked. Somehow they always worked. 3 hours after the incident, Dr. Jiwoo arrived at Kitchen Block C. She was a xenobiologist. She studied alien creatures. She understood animal behavior. She was an expert. She had 3 degrees. She had studied for 20 years. She knew everything about dangerous predators. She expected to find a crime scene. Blood, bodies, destruction. That was what Vrexian shredders did. That was what they always did. They killed. They destroyed. They were killing machines. Perfect killing machines. Evolution had made them that way over millions of years. But when she arrived, she found something very different. Chef Minho was plating food. Beautiful food. Arranged perfectly on white plates. He moved quickly and smoothly around his kitchen. His hands were fast, precise. Every movement had a purpose. The Vrexian shredder was there too, right next to Minho, working, actually working. The creature wore an apron. The apron had words on it. Kiss the cook. The apron looked silly on the huge armored body, but the creature wore it anyway. The creature was cutting vegetables. Its sharp mouth parts moved like knives. Slice, slice, slice. Perfect cuts, even cuts. The vegetables fell into neat little piles. The creature's many eyes were focused on its work. Concentrated, serious. Minho was teaching the creature. He showed how to make each cut exactly 3 millimeters. Not 2, not 4. Exactly 3. The creature watched carefully with all its eyes. It tried again. Better cuts this time. More precise cuts. Jiwoo stood in the doorway. Her tablet computer hung from her tentacles. She was a Kixian. Her species had 8 tentacles. Right now, all 8 tentacles were limp, hanging loose. She was in shock. Complete shock. She could not form complete sentences. Her brain was not working properly. This made no sense. No sense at all. Minho looked up and smiled. His smile was cheerful, normal, like this was a normal day. Dinner rush starts in 20 minutes, he said. You want your usual? I am trying a new recipe tonight. Mittens has been helping me test it. Mittens, Jiwoo repeated. Her voice was flat. Empty. You named it Mittens. Well, I cannot keep calling it the apex predator. Minho shrugged. That is too long. Too formal. And look at that face. He pointed at the creature with his spatula. Totally a Mittens face. The Vrexian shredder's eye stalks turned to look at Jiwoo. All of them. Watching her. The creature made soft clicking sounds. Friendly sounds. Like it was saying hello. Jiwoo stared at the creature. Could a Vrexian shredder look happy? Could it feel contentment? She had studied these creatures for years. She had read every paper, every research document, and nowhere did it say they could feel happy. Nowhere did it say they could learn to cook. This was impossible. But it was happening, right in front of her eyes. Over the next few weeks, the situation became normal. Well, as normal as it could be. Mittens became a permanent part of Kitchen Block C. The creature lived there now, slept there, worked there. Every day it came to work. Every day it cooked with Minho. The creature learned fast, very fast. It learned about different cuts. Julienne, dice, mince, chiffonade. It learned about heat. High heat, low heat, medium heat. When to use each one. It learned about flavors. Sweet, salty, sour, bitter, umami. How to balance them. How to make them work together. Minho treated the creature like any other kitchen worker. Not special. Not different. Just another cook learning the trade. He was tough but fair. He gave praise when the work was good. He gave criticism when the work was bad. Mittens, those carrots are cut unevenly, Minho would say. His voice was stern but not mean. We are not running a barbecue here. This is a professional kitchen. Do them again. All of them. And the creature would do them again. Without complaining. Without resisting. Its clicking sounds would become focused, determined, and it would cut the carrots again. Better this time, more even, more precise. The xenobiology team could not understand it. Jiwoo ran every test she could think of. Brain scans, blood tests, chemical analysis, hormone levels, everything. She scanned Minho too. She scanned the kitchen. She scanned the food. She scanned everything. She found nothing. No mind control. No drugs, no chemicals. No pheromones. No technology. Nothing. The creature was just cooperating. Willingly. Happily, Jiwoo had to make a report. She had to explain this to Station Commander Hyunwoo. She went to his office. She brought all her data. All her scans. All her results. Hyunwoo sat behind his desk. He looked tired. Very tired. Being a station commander was hard work. Dealing with humans made it harder. Humans were confusing. They did things that made no sense. And somehow those things worked. It gave him headaches. His species did not normally get headaches, but humans had taught him what stress felt like. So explain it to me, Hyunwoo said. He rubbed his forehead. Why is the shredder cooperating? What is the mechanism? What is the science? Jiwoo looked at her notes. She had thought about this question for weeks. She had studied all the data. She had thought and thought and thought. And she had come to a conclusion. A strange conclusion. But the only conclusion that made sense. The best explanation I can give, Jiwoo said slowly, is that Minho established dominance. He did it in a way the shredder could understand. The shredder is a pack predator. It has social instincts. It understands hierarchy. It understands who is in charge. She pulled up a chart on her tablet. Brain scans. Hormone levels. Behavior patterns. When the shredder first entered the kitchen, it expected fear, Jiwoo continued. All prey shows fear always. Fear is a signal. It tells the predator that it is in control. But Minho did not show fear. Instead, he showed confidence, aggression. He defended his territory. He established boundaries. He enforced rules. So the shredder thinks Minho is the alpha, Hyunwoo said. The pack leader. Not just thinks, Jiwoo corrected. Believes, completely believes. Look at these hormone levels. She pointed at the screen. The shredder's stress hormones are at the lowest levels we have ever recorded, lower than in wild specimens, lower than in captive specimens. The creature is not just obedient. It is happy. Genuinely happy. Hyunwoo stared at the data. He looked at the graphs, the charts, the numbers. It was all there. Scientific proof. The shredder was content, at peace. Working in a kitchen made it happy. This was insane, but the data did not lie. So the most dangerous predator in the galaxy, Hyunwoo said slowly, thinks a human chef is its leader, and it is happy about this. Yes, sir, Jiwoo confirmed. That is exactly what is happening. Hyunwoo pulled up the security camera feed on his screen. He watched Kitchen Block C. He watched Minho teaching Mittens how to season a stir-fry. The human was patient, explaining each step. The creature was attentive, learning each lesson. It looked like any normal kitchen, a chef and an apprentice, working together, creating food. The only difference was that one of them was a 3-meter-tall armored killing machine. Humans, Hyunwoo muttered. He said it like a curse word, like a swear. Of course it is humans. It is always humans. Jiwoo nodded. She understood. Everyone who worked with humans understood. Humans were special, different. They came from a death world. They had survived impossible conditions. They had learned to adapt, to overcome, to make friends with things that should kill them. On Earth, humans had tamed wolves. Big, dangerous wolves with sharp teeth. They turned them into dogs. Loyal dogs. Friendly dogs. Dogs that lived in houses and played with children. Humans had tamed horses. Big animals that could kick hard enough to break bones. They turned them into transportation. Into friends, humans tamed everything. They made friends with everything. Even things that wanted to eat them. It was what humans did. It was in their nature. So, of course, a human chef would tame a Vrexian shredder. Of course he would teach it to cook. Of course it would work, because that was what humans did. They looked at the impossible and said, why not? They looked at the dangerous and said, we can work with this. They looked at the galaxy's most feared predator and said, you need a job and I need an assistant. Hyunwoo watched the screen for a long time. Watching Minho and Mittens work together. Perfect teamwork. Perfect cooperation. Then he closed the feed and looked at Jiwoo. Keep monitoring them, Hyunwoo said. Keep taking measurements. We need to understand this better. If this can work with one shredder, maybe it can work with others. Maybe we can use this. Maybe we can learn from this. Yes, sir, Jiwoo said. She left the office. She had work to do, research to conduct, papers to write. This was going to change everything. Everything the galaxy knew about Vrexian shredders. Everything the galaxy knew about humans. Back in Kitchen Block C, Minho was closing up for the night. Dinner service was over. The customers were gone. The kitchen was clean. Everything was put away. Everything was ready for tomorrow. Mittens was cleaning its station, wiping down surfaces, organizing tools. Put in. 6 months passed. 6 months since that strange day when a killer creature dropped into a kitchen and found a new life. 6 months since the impossible became normal. Kitchen Block C was now the most popular place on Station Athena. Everyone wanted to eat there, not just because the food was excellent. Though it was. The food was amazing. But people came for another reason. They came to see something incredible, something that should not be possible. They came to watch a human chef and a Vrexian shredder work together, in perfect harmony, in perfect teamwork, moving around the kitchen like dancers, like partners who had worked together for years. Minho had taught Mittens everything he knew. Every technique, every skill, every secret. The creature had learned it all, and learned it well, better than well. Mittens was now an excellent cook. Truly excellent. The creature's many limbs gave it an advantage. It could do several things at once. Stirring one pot while checking another. Cutting vegetables while watching the oven. seasoning meat while preparing sauce. Its predatory precision had become culinary art. Sharp movements, exact movements, perfect movements. Tonight was a busy night. Dinner service. Lots of customers. Lots of orders. But Minho and Mittens were ready. They were always ready. "Behind you," Minho called out. He was carrying a hot pan. Very hot. Steam rising from it. Mittens moved smoothly to the side, not stopping its work, not breaking rhythm. The creature was flipping vegetables in a wok with 2 arms, checking oven temperature with another arm, stirring soup with another arm. All at the same time, all perfectly coordinated. The creature's mouth parts clicked. A cheerful sound. A happy sound. The sound Mittens made when work was going well. When everything was perfect, the dinner service went perfectly. Like always, every plate was beautiful. Every dish was delicious. Every customer was happy. By the end of the night, Minho was tired but satisfied. Good tired, the tired that comes from hard work done well. The last customer left. Time to close. Time to clean. Minho started his closing routine. Mittens did the same. Without being asked, without being told, the creature knew what to do. It broke down its station, cleaned everything, put everything away. Perfect routine, perfect teamwork, good work today, Minho said. He always said this. Every single night. It was important. Recognition mattered. Praise mattered. Minho pulled out a treat for Mittens. Raw Calvaxian beetle, the creature's favorite. Mittens' eye stalks brightened when it saw the beetle. Happy, excited, always the same reaction. Always made Minho smile. But before Mittens could take the beetle, there was a sound at the door. A chime, someone was there. Someone wanted to come in, strange. The kitchen was closed. Who would come now? Jinwoo entered. The station keeper. But he looked different tonight. He wore his formal uniform. Not his regular clothes. His good uniform, the one for special occasions. This was unusual. Minho got a minute? Jinwoo asked. He looked uncomfortable, nervous. There is someone here to see you. Behind Jinwoo came another person. An alien, a beautiful alien. Her skin glowed. Patterns of light moved across her body. Bioluminescent patterns. These patterns showed her rank. High rank, very high rank. This was someone important, Chef Minho, the alien said. Her voice was musical, formal. I am Ambassador Sunmi from the Federation Diplomatic Corps. I have been authorized to make you an offer. Minho wiped his hands on his apron. He looked at the ambassador, then at Jinwoo, then back at the ambassador. An offer? What kind of offer? I am listening, Minho said. His voice was calm, steady, like always. Your success with the Vrexian shredder has not gone unnoticed, Ambassador Sunmi said carefully. She chose her words with care. We have had 18 separate incidents across Federation space, 18 times where shredders escaped, 18 times where shredders became hostile. Every attempt to contain them resulted in casualties, deaths, injuries, destruction. She pulled up a holographic display. Numbers appeared in the air, statistics, data, charts, all showing the same thing. Vrexian shredders were dangerous. Very dangerous. Hard to control. Hard to contain. But you have done something unprecedented, Sunmi continued. Something no one else has done. You took a killer and made it a partner. You took a threat and made it an asset. You succeeded where everyone else failed. The Federation would like to hire you, Sunmi said. And your assistant. We want to start a new program. Vrexian shredder integration and rehabilitation. We believe that with proper handling, these creatures can become valuable members of society. Not containment risks. Not threats. But contributors, workers, citizens. Minho glanced at Mittens. The creature had stopped cleaning. It was watching the conversation. Its eye stalks were focused, interested, like it understood something important was happening. What kind of consulting? Minho asked. Training programs initially, Sunmi explained. Teaching our containment specialists how you did what you did, showing them your methods, your techniques, your approach. Eventually, we want to establish integration facilities across Federation space. Places where shredders can be trained, can be taught, can find purpose. The pay would be substantial, Sunmi added. Very substantial. And you would have access to any resources you need, any equipment, any support, anything. Minho was quiet, thinking. His mind was working, processing. This was a big decision, a life-changing decision. He looked at Mittens again, really looked. The creature was standing there, waiting, patient, trusting. The shredder's eye stalks tilted, that curious way they did, the way that meant Mittens was asking a question. The mouth parts clicked softly, gently. The questioning pattern. "I will do it on one condition," Minho said finally. His voice was firm, clear. This was not negotiable. Mittens comes with me as my full partner, not as a specimen, not as a demonstration model, not as an example. As my sous chef and business partner, equal billing, equal respect, equal treatment. Ambassador Sunmi's light patterns flickered. Surprise, shock. A Vrexian shredder as an official Federation consultant? That is unprecedented. That has never been done. We have never given an animal such status. So was everything else about this situation, Minho pointed out. He crossed his arms. His face was serious, determined. Those are my terms, non-negotiable. Sunmi looked at Mittens, really looked at the creature. The shredder stood at its full height. 3 meters tall, massive, armored, deadly. But it wore an apron that was too small. It held a spatula in one claw. It had the bearing of a professional, the posture of someone with dignity, with pride. With purpose, it was absurd. It was impossible. It was so fundamentally human that Sunmi felt that peculiar exhaustion. That feeling that came from dealing with Earth's representatives. Humans always did this, always pushed boundaries, always challenged rules, always made the impossible happen. "Fine," Sunmi said. She sounded tired, defeated but also impressed. "I will have the contracts drafted. Both of you, equal partners. Congratulations. You are both now official Federation consultants." After she left, Jinwoo let out a low whistle. A sound of amazement, of disbelief. "You know this is going to make you famous across the galaxy, right? The human who domesticated a Vrexian shredder. Everyone will know your name. Everyone will talk about you." Minho shrugged. Simple, casual. "I did not domesticate anything. I just taught Mittens how to cook." He looked at his partner, his friend. "Though we might need to work on your plating presentation before we go public. Some of your designs are still a bit messy." Mittens' mouth parts clicked. That special clicking. The sound everyone in Kitchen Block C had learned to recognize. Amusement. The creature was laughing. Actually laughing. The apex predator had found its calling, and it involved perfectly diced onions and excellent seasoning. As they finished closing the kitchen together, Minho thought about his journey. How he had ended up here. He had left Earth to cook in the stars, to see new worlds, to meet new people, to experience new things, and somehow, somewhere along the way, he had found a partner, the least likely partner in the entire galaxy. Scientists would spend years studying what happened. They would write papers, conduct experiments, run tests. They would try to understand the human psychology behind it. Dynamics, the interspecies communication. They would make it complicated, academic, scientific. But Minho knew the truth was simpler. Much simpler. Respect, clear boundaries, consistent expectations, and the universal language of good food. These things could bridge any gap, even between a human and a creature that evolution had designed to hunt humans. "Come on, Mittens," Minho said. He hung up his apron on its hook. "Let us go. We have a busy day tomorrow. Need to start planning the training curriculum. Need to think about how to teach others what we learned." The Vrexian shredder followed its human partner out of the kitchen. Its armored body clicked softly against the metal floor. Somewhere in the galaxy, another shredder might be attacking colonists, destroying settlements, killing people. But this one had found something better than hunting, something more satisfying than killing. It had found purpose, real purpose. It had found belonging. It had found a place where it mattered, where its skills were valued, where it was respected. And yes, it had found really good kimchi jjigae. That spicy Korean soup that made most aliens cry but made Mittens click with happiness. 5 years passed. 5 Locademy opened 20 locations across Federation space, 20 schools, 20 training centers, each one teaching the same lessons.